know a couple of people in the group wanted me to film a video, so I thought, why not tonight? I'm gonna do full face makeup tonight in case some of you wanted to watch me do that. Here it is. I'm focusing on my base foundation because I hear a lot of questions in the group about primers, foundations, concealers, powders, so I thought I'd focus on that too. Also, I wanted to challenge myself because all of you guys are extremely creative. Let's get started. I'm gonna do something real quick before we actually get into the video. It's my brows, so just give me 1 second. Figured doing my brows on camera would be a little boring since it takes me forever. So if anyone wants an in-depth video on how I do my brows, please leave a comment and I'll do that. Alright, just so you know, I used the Benefit Precisely My Brow in shade number 3 and cleaned up using Tarte Shape Tape in Fair. Next step, foundation. I have been using two mixed together lately. I used to think I was a matte foundation person. Boy, howdy, was I wrong. I wanted to show you my foundation routine because I had a comment on a photo I posted saying, wow, your skin is so perfect. I almost laughed out loud. It's really far from perfect. It's just all around a giant mess. That must mean my foundation routine is really good. So I wanted to share it with you in case you share the same problems as me with the redness, the acne, the irritation, the combo skin, the oily in the T-zone and dry everywhere the fuck else. I rarely get the right formula for my skin with the coverage I want out of just one foundation. So I really like to blend. It's the Loreal Infallible Pro Glow and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Coverage. This one on its own will give you a really great finish, but not as much coverage as I want. This one will give you all the coverage in the world, but it is so thick that you can't even begin to blend it out fast enough before it dries. So together, it's a pretty good match. I use the shade 203 and 303 for reference. Just a dollop of each, a tiny bit of that pro coverage because a little bit goes a long way. And then I just mix them around with my finger on this palette, which is actually a soap holder, just so they're fully blended out together on the palette. I'm going to prime first with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. Even though I have an oily T-zone, I do find that using a hydrating primer water makes my foundation adhere to my skin way better. So I'm just gonna give myself a good generous dousing of primer. Nope, just ate it a little. Don't do that. It doesn't give you that extra layer. It just sort of hydrates the skin and it just gives my skin that tacky, really sticky, hydrated base that I need in order to lay my foundation and lock it in all day. So I'm just gonna dot it all over the skin. With the Pro Glow, you can really kind of go ham. It also doesn't dry down super fast, so I can take my time and really work with it. I'm gonna do one side with my beauty blender, bounce it in. To be honest, I haven't been using a beauty blender for my foundation recently because one of my Christmas presents to myself was a Clarisonic. So I've been using the foundation attachment and I just wanted to show you one side of the face without it. You can also use any sponge you want. It doesn't have to be a beauty blender, and layer it up in the areas that I need extra coverage. So I'm gonna do the other side of my face with my Clarisonic. Use it on low, but it blends, especially down the neck. Like a dream. Look at that. Look at all that coverage. But by no means is it absolutely necessary. Who else's nose gives them so much grief when they're doing foundation? Now that we have our base set, I'm gonna go in before I go in with concealer with a lighter foundation shade in the Hourglass Vanish Stick foundation. It's in the shade Porcelain. And I bought it because I wanted a full coverage, but I wanted to move away from the water-based foundation. It was drying me out and it was giving me a lot of texture. So this was my next experiment. I got shade matched at Sephora. It's just way too fair. I use a darker foundation with a more peachy undertone. And then I go on top of my, like, the high points of my face with the Hourglass Vanish Stick, which gives me that extra coverage that I really want in this area. And then I go on top of that with the tiniest bit of Shape Tape. And then I take my beauty blender and I melt the two together. I'm really just trying to use up all of the products that I have so that I don't feel guilty for buying really expensive products. Also, I don't use the Vanish Stick on my nose because I get a lot of texture. And it just really skips up on my nose. Oh, I love that, like, concealer face you make when you're doing the under eye. Oh, it's so attractive. Okay, now that I am blended out, I'm going to quickly set and bake all of my problem spots with loose setting powder. The setting powder I'm using lately is Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder. The Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder has a yellow undertone to it. Even though it's translucent, it gives you that sort of brightening effect under the eyes. I'm just gonna really go in there under the eye quickly so that it doesn't crease. You wanna do that real quick. You wanna make sure it's all blended out before it gets creasy. You wanna pop that first layer of setting powder. I do like to bake with that setting powder in my eyes just to prevent it from creasing. And gives me a nice enough base for any eyeshadow look. And it does let some of that luminosity come through. Yeah, I'm baking my chin. And then I go and I bake my smile lines. Pop it out with my tongue. I bake my upper lip. And I bake my nose. Right in there. Really press it in there. And this way, my foundation doesn't go fucking anywhere. Then I go in one more time under my under eyes because these bags don't hide themselves. After I finish baking, I just take this fluffy brush and I just take a little bit in the lid, a little bit of that loose powder on this brush. I press it into my face, but really light coating of it. You don't want the rest of your face to look cakey. Dust it right on the forehead, or in my case, the 5 head. So since we already have a eye base set down, I'm using the Kathleen Lights and Colourpop Dream Street collaboration for my crease shade. I'm going to use this top right shade here, which I think, if it is corresponding in the back, is called Twinkle. It's real nice. This one right there, I'm just gonna dip into that shade really lightly because, oh boy, there's a lot of kickback. Dust off the excess. Just a tiniest bit though, because I don't want to make it an eyeshadow look. This is just to add the tiniest bit of depth. Just blend a little bit into my outer corner, and then I use windshield wiper motions. This right here is my problem area, so I do make sure that it is really blended into that corner before I go elsewhere. Wing it out just a little bit to mirror the eyeliner. So today I'm going to attempt for the 3rd time to use the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. Hopefully we'll be able to produce a pretty decent wing. Okay, here we go. Gonna line the lid first, and then And then I usually take that point and then I drag it back. I don't think it ever gets any easier. And here they are. I can work with these. How many times have you ever caught yourself not breathing while doing eyeliner? Great! So now that we have our wing in place, I'm gonna go in with a little Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliner in Midnight Cowboy. This guy is super sparkly. It's got a really tiny cute, so cute. I'm just gonna go in and draw a line, a glitter line, just on the top of my wing. I want to know what freaks you out the most about your makeup routine. What is the most challenging thing that you do? But yeah, I'm just gonna keep going back and forth over and over again until I get that nice, thick, opaque line of glitter right over top. And there is the liner all done. I think I'm gonna pop just a little bit of extra Midnight Cowboy under my lower lash line, just here. I don't think I'm gonna do any shadow on the lower lash line, but I do love that pop of sparkle right in the inner corner. Okay, that's pretty much it for the eyes. I think I'm just gonna go in with like a little bit of a highlight for the brow bone in the inner corner, and I think that's it. For brow bone highlight and inner corner highlight, I'm gonna go in with the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Stole the Show. Okay, so I just dip it into the brush here, and I'm just gonna pop it on my inner corner. You can go really sheer with them, or you can build them up and just blind. I'm gonna go ahead and dust off my bake with a big fluffy brush. So back to brows. I'm going to go in with the Benefit Gimme Brow, which I think has been discontinued. Corresponding shade number 3, like the Precisely My Brow pencil. And I'm just gonna run that through my brows to give them some extra dimension. And it probably is absolutely overkill, but hey, do what works, right? Let's just throw in some mascara. So right now I'm using L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I'm trying to replace my higher end mascaras. And I've used it a couple times now, and I'm probably about halfway through the tube, but just look, oh, it's so goopy. It's good mascara and it works. I just end up getting it all over my face. Let's do some lashes. My ride or die favorite lash of all time is the Koko lashes in Risque. And these lashes are only $7 Canadian. You gotta make sure they dry a little bit down so they're really good and tacky before applying them. I've got them here on with my little tweezers. These are not special tweezers, these are just regular tweezers. You look down at your mirror like this and just plop them right above your regular lashes. Take the outer corner, pull them, and just place them right on the outer corner. Pull them and place them. And that way you can really get them right onto that lash line without much fuss. Oh, it's cold. It's super cold. So it looks like my lashes are laid down. The last brow step. Yeah, you thought we were done. We're not done. I use a clear brow gel just to set everything in place and make sure it just won't go anywhere. So I use the MAC brow set, which is just a clear, what used to be a clear brow gel. And you just do a light coating, brush everything up and brush everything together. And it also just keeps my tail in place, which usually is the thing that ends up wandering. Keeps the fluffy hairs in place too. I guess the last thing we have to do is bring some dimension back to this flat, pale ass mug. What are you doing? Oh my god. Oh my god, really? When I have the time and I'm just dicking around with makeup, I really love to layer my bronzers. First one I go in with is Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It is the perfect cool tone bronzer, and I just take a big giant fluffy brush and I just stamp it in, like so. And since it's not overly pigmented, it gives you the perfect transition for anything deeper toned or warmer. And I stamp it on. Do a little bit under the chin. This actually smells like a vacation. And then I go in with Benefit's Hoola bronzer. So if you were even paler than I am, which is definitely possible, try Hoola Light first. But I also have their Benefit Hoola bronzing brush. I just got it for Christmas. I'm just gonna take this, I'm just gonna second my cheekbone, make circular motions. It's shaped so perfectly that it just deposits it exactly where you want it to be. Plus it's so soft. You can get it right up in that hairline, and you can take the tip of it and just like finesse where you want it to end. And then I just take it in 5 head into the hairline. Again, going right under that chin. And I always bring it up a little bit farther here. I do like to pretend I have a jawline and bring it down the neck a little bit. I'm just going to take that powder brush that we were using before, and with any residual powder, I'm just gonna go in and just lightly dust underneath the bronzer. Oh God, it's all over me. Now that we are bronzed, I'm gonna go in with a boatload of blush. It's the Tarte Blush Bazaar. You'll never need another blush ever again. So I think I'm gonna go in with these 2 shades here. Dainty and Endless, and maybe throw a bit of Exhilarating in there, which is that really, really pink shade. And just dust it on the apples in an upward motion and do it right under my eye bag. They dust that blush right under the eye, and it kind of makes your eyes look a little bit pouchy. Makes you look all tired and cute. Blending it with the bronzer that was laid down. Ooh, on camera this looks real rosy. I think I might dust some of that back with that powder brush again. And then my little trick that I've been doing recently is to take a little bit of blush on the tip of your brush and just dust it on the tip of your nose. I feel like a little woodland creature. So I'm gonna go in with what you all were probably waiting for, and that's highlight. I'm gonna go in first with the highlight in the Blush Bazaar called Whimsical. It's that gold shade, and just do it right on the high points of the face. And I really like bringing it down to the top of the cheek and blending it really well with your blush. And I always go above my brow, and of course we cannot forget Cupid's bow. So to finish off my highlighter tonight, I'm gonna go back in with that Colourpop Super Shock Shadow and Still to Show, that blinding white highlight. Because of the cream formula, I do find that it works better for my nose highlight than a powder. So I'm just gonna go take my finger and dip it into that highlight. I'm just gonna tap it onto the tip of my nose and blend it out with the other finger. And I also do a tiny bit right between the brows on the bridge of the nose. And I think I'm just gonna take a little bit of it on the high points of my face and just go ham. And I also use brushes with this. Just gonna pop a little bit on. I'm going to pop a nude liner in the waterline to open up my eyes just a little bit more. This is a Colourpop liner. I'm just gonna pop it on my waterline here. I'm gonna go in first with the Loreal and Colourpop collab with No Kill LA. This shade is called BAM! I wonder if it's supposed to be said like that. Probably not. Shade BAM. I've also never tried this before, so this will be your first. Okay. I think I found a dupe for Unicorn Blood. For my freckles, I go in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in medium brown. I do take a tiny bit on my little angle brush, just like the point of it. Start done. You want them to be different shapes and different sizes. You don't want them to be uniform. And also different levels of opacity. I think that was too many. We got to roll with it, because that shit ain't going anywhere. You can tap in where you want it to fade it a little bit. Trying real hard not to look like Anna Green Gables right now. Okay, so that's definitely more than I thought I was gonna do, but I don't care if I fucked up this look. I think I look cute. This is a really good way to cover up acne too. If you find that you have really textured skin like I do, you know what, just pop on a freckle. Boop, boop. Now that really annoying acne has become an adorable beauty mark. It's a little extra, but I think I look cute as heck. Yeah, I might throw in some extra blush on the bridge of my nose, or right between these two highlight points. See, now I'm just fucking around because I have extra time, and you know, when you have extra time, you just end up becoming a freckly ball of glitter, I guess, apparently, if you're me. And yeah, I'm just gonna stamp on some blush right on the bridge of the nose. But yeah, it does really make the highlight points of your nose stand out. All we have left to do is a little setting spray, some bottom lashes, and we're good to go. And of course, to set everything in place, all-nighter. And this is the finished look, guys. I really like how it turned out. It is more freckles than I was going to put on, but I'm really happy with the outcome. I love the new lip shade I tried. I hope maybe you got something out of this for yourself. I know I don't know everything. I'm not a makeup artist, but I do love playing with makeup, and if I've showed you anything that you think you might want to try, I would love to see that. This group is super inspiring, and you guys inspire me all the time, every day, which is why I'm constantly on there procrastinating all the other things I should be doing. I've been meaning to start doing videos. I always thought of excuses to not do them. I don't have the right equipment, I don't have the right setup, I don't have the skill level, but I think I should just throw that all out the window and maybe play with some makeup with you guys. If you want to see anything specifically from me, a dedicated video on my brow routine, any of the looks I've posted on the group before, yeah, so just leave me a comment and I will definitely do that next. I hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you later.